Powerful tsunamis are destroying coastal cities, inundating entire nations and forcing millions of refugees to seek shelter in untouched lands. Scarcity of resources such as food and fresh water leads to mass starvation and conflict. Some scientists predict just such a bleak future for our planet, speculating on possible causes such as a collision with a colossal asteroid or the eruption of a supervolcano. But the real threat comes not from such dramatic events, but from a seemingly insignificant source, a microscopic green plant called snow algae. Recently, scientists have, for the first time, compiled a complete map of snow algae distribution in Antarctica. Their study revealed a surprising trend. Between 2009 and 2019, vegetation cover in Antarctica increased more than in the previous 50 years combined. This surge in greening has the potential to transform the once white continent into a green landscape, leading to a global catastrophe. Although there have already been periods of dense greening in Antarctica's history, the question arises, what circumstances led to such phenomena in the past? Scientists believe that ancient Antarctica was covered with trees due to historical evidence indicating periods of dense forestation on the continent. While most people associate Antarctica with a frozen tundra, the Earth's history reveals that during the era of the dinosaurs, it was a vast green forest. The ongoing transformation of the icy continent into a green one is attributed to the rapid effects of global warming. The current conditions in Antarctica are highly conducive to the growth of moss and algae. This process has initiated in certain areas, resulting in ice not only appearing green, but also displaying hues of red, orange, or brown due to the presence of multicolored mosses that proliferate rapidly. While the sight is visually striking, the implications are concerning. Green plants, however, reflect less sunlight compared to a white surface, contributing to the acceleration of ice melting. This raises significant consequences for us. Recent research involving the analysis of limpet shells and penguin bones collected from the coastal strip has allowed scientists to determine the timeline of ice disappearance from the beaches. The findings indicate that two major glaciers in Antarctica, Thwaites and Pine Island, are currently melting at a faster rate than they have in the past 5,500 years. Consequently, sea levels are rising annually with a projected increase of 3.4 meters within the next century. In 2020, NASA scientists made a troubling discovery regarding the rapid disappearance of glaciers in various regions of Antarctica. The extent of ice loss over the past 25 years has been found to be twice as much as previously estimated, with a particular emphasis on the reduction of floating ice shelves. These ice shelves play a crucial role in restraining melting ice, preventing it from streaming into the ocean. Since 1997, an alarming 12 trillion tons of ice has melted. These findings suggest that Antarctica is regressing to a state resembling the distant past, when it was not covered in ice. Paleontologists propose that during the Cretaceous period, spanning 145 to 66 million years ago, Antarctica was devoid of ice. In this era, ocean temperatures could rise to 30 degrees, and global temperatures were generally higher than they are today. The prevailing hypothesis is that widespread volcanic eruptions likely contributed to the elevated temperatures on Earth during that period. During ancient times, volcanoes in Antarctica erupted, spewing lethal lava that led to devastating fires. The region was periodically engulfed in flames, transforming into a desolate, scorched landscape. Despite these challenges, life not only persisted but thrived. Antarctica served as the habitat for the ancestors of mammals, reptiles, and the earliest birds and dinosaurs. In 1986, paleontologists discovered mysterious remains on James Ross Island. They belonged to ankylosaurs, comparable in size to elephants, protected by strong and dense armor consisting of large bumps and bone plates. The tail of the lizard had a formidable structure, capable of easily crushing the bones of the enemy on impact. Subsequently, on the island of Vega, scientists found fossils of hadrosaurs that reached a length of 7.6 meters and weighed about 8 tons. These creatures featured wide, duck-beak-like noses and hoof-like claws on their front legs, along with a hollow helmet on their heads. One theory suggests that this helmet might have contained combustible gas, akin to a dragon, which the dinosaur could release in case of danger, potentially igniting it as it exited their nostrils. However, This hypothesis remains unconfirmed. Regardless, both creatures were herbivores, utilizing their unique features for defensive purposes only. Simultaneously, the Antarctic harbored formidable predators. Among them were the mosasaurs, which also inhabited Ross Island. Paleontologists recently discovered their remains amidst tons of ancient lizard bones. Armed with razor-sharp teeth and powerful jaws, these creatures were adept at tearing their prey into pieces. They exhibited a preference for marine reptiles, with a particular fondness for turtles and other aquatic species. These predators exhibited a ruthless nature, even resorting to cannibalism within their own species. Meanwhile, Earth underwent a cooling phase, and Antarctica remained shrouded in ice for millions of years. However, a significant shift occurred around 56 million years ago during the Eocene epoch, when spring returned to the continent. Once again, the glaciers of Antarctica gave way to flourishing forests, featuring palm-like royal carrier trees, conifers, and southern beeches. Within these thickets resided ancient relatives of modern marsupials, armadillos, and anteaters. On Seymour Island, paleontologists uncovered the remains of a creature with characteristics reminiscent of both a horse and a camel. More recently, they discovered the bones of peculiar birds. These large birds were equipped with sharp bone spikes protruding from their jaws, aiding them in capturing squid and fish. The inhabitants of Antarctica during the Eocene era likely faced extinction by the epoch's conclusion. Following a cooling phase, Antarctica once again became enveloped in ice, with its ice cover now averaging about 1.6 kilometers in thickness. Under such icy mountains, the presumption might be that no creature could endure. However, in recent decades, scientists have made groundbreaking discoveries that challenge our perceptions of Antarctica. Beneath the ice, they have identified numerous canyons, rivers, and lakes, with approximately 400 lakes alone. Using an airplane equipped with magnetometers and other tools, researchers recently located a massive lake comparable in size to a modern city, named Snow Eagle. This lake reaches a depth of about 200 meters. Spans 48 kilometers in length, and extends over 15 kilometers in width, similar in size to the renowned Flathead Lake in Montana. Scientists are currently delving into the study of the inhabitants of these lakes, opening up new avenues of exploration and understanding in the icy expanses of Antarctica. Some animal species are believed to have been living under the ice of Antarctica for millions of years. Ukrainian scientist Andriy Teskey has found a leech of an unknown species. This fearsome creature reaches 35 centimeters in length, but can grow 3 times as big by feeding on the blood of fish. In another breakthrough, German researchers drilled a 740-meter deep hole in the Ross Glacier using a remotely operated robotic submarine. The resulting images revealed the presence of microbes, crustaceans, and unusual fish. These creatures have surprisingly large eyes, presumably adapted to improve vision in the dark under ice environment. Some of them are orange-colored, while others are black. The most significant find was a fish with translucent skin, allowing its internal organs to be seen. However, if the water temperature in subglacial waters rises by at least a few degrees, these creatures may face survival problems. The potential melting of Antarctica poses a nightmarish scenario for our planet. If it were to occur, sea levels could rise by approximately 17 meters, resulting in the flooding of coastal cities. An international team of scientists has meticulously mapped out the areas that would be most severely affected. Notable examples include the disappearance of the Atlantic coast, submerging Florida and the Gulf Coast. In California, the hills of San Francisco would transform into a cluster of islands, and the Central Valley would become a vast bay. The consequences would force millions of people to abandon their homes in search of new habitats. However, the question arises, will the new world have sufficient resources like food and water for everyone? Antarctica's ice constitutes 70% of the world's freshwater supply. If it were to mix with salty seawater, it would become undrinkable. Moreover, the melting of Antarctica could alter crucial factors such as ocean currents, wind patterns, atmospheric processes, and the tectonic movement of Earth's plates. If Antarctica were to melt, the world would face a grim reality with fierce storms, colossal tsunamis, and relentless volcanic eruptions, becoming the new norm. Fertile regions would transform into deserts, while others would be subjected to regular flooding. Growing crops and sustaining large herds of animals under such conditions would be nearly impossible, leading to food scarcity and conflicts over basic resources like bread. Another critical concern would be the outbreak of epidemics. Diseases such as smallpox, bubonic plague, and anthrax could spread globally. Some of these deadly pathogens have already demonstrated their resurgence, as seen in the 2016 anthrax outbreak in Yamal, where the disease surfaced for the first time in 70 years. The epidemic claimed thousands of reindeer lives and infected dozens of people, with scientists attributing the event to the activation of microbes due to permafrost thawing accelerated by rising summer temperatures. Despite the potential for catastrophic events, there might be less tragic outcomes for Antarctica. As the ice recedes, the continent, which is the third largest in size, could become habitable, providing a refuge for displaced populations. Even after the ice clears, there will be ample space, with the Antarctic Peninsula alone spanning 522,000 square kilometers, more than twice the size of Great Britain. Some individuals may find shelter and opportunities for livelihood, such as engaging in the mining of valuable minerals. Experts propose that Antarctica holds significant deposits of oil, gas, silver, uranium, platinum, copper, and iron. However, being at the South Pole, the region experiences prolonged periods without sunlight, lasting for half a year. Researchers anticipate that the area, resembling cold swamps and lakes similar to some regions in Canada, might only sustain the survival of mosses and lichens within that band. In terms of livestock, only the hardiest species like musk oxen might endure, making productive farming and cattle breeding impractical. Hence, the hope is that Antarctica remains covered in white ice, and scientists find effective measures to prevent further glacier melting. Within the scientific community, proposals have been considered, including artificially extracting greenhouse gases from the atmosphere or controlling sunlight exposure. However, these ideas are deemed risky thus far. Failing to intervene in the intricate climate system could lead to more severe issues, potentially reaching a point of irreversibility. Scientists at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology have conceptualized a solution involving a protective raft made of thin, bubble-like membranes in space over Antarctica. This structure would either reflect or absorb a portion of the sunlight directed at Earth, offering a potential avenue for climate control. The concept of placing a massive raft thousands of kilometers wide near the first Lagrange point is an intriguing and innovative proposal. Lagrange points are stable positions where the gravitational forces of two massive objects balance a third object. Calculations show that such a raft could reduce the amount of sunlight reaching the Earth by 1.5%, which could counteract global warming. However, it should be recognized that this idea is still at the development stage and requires careful study of many technical, ethical, and environmental aspects. Share your opinion in the comments, what you think about it. Thanks for watching.